Hey Tyers, Darren here, back with another fly tying tutorial. Today we're going to be tying up the lightning bug. This is a simplified version. There's also a more complex version that was created by Garry Stacker, but we'll cover that in a later episode. Now this simplified version covers a lot of the bases that any other would, and this has a lot of different metallic surfaces, and it reflects a ton of light. It's got the metallic bead head, a metallic body, as well as, in my version here, a metallic thorax as well. This one's worked really well on small streams, medium-sized streams, for a lot of brook trout, rainbows, and a few browns in there as well. I think it imitates a nymph pattern that has a little bit of trapped gas around the abdomen. I'm not 100% sure, but regardless, it's been a pretty productive fly pattern for me, so I'll stick with it. Alright, so let's have a look at the materials and get started tying up this lightning bug. Alright, let's get a fresh hook in the vise. I'm using a Mustad C49S today, and this one is a size 10. I've already placed a bead on this. This is a 7/64 silver brass bead, and I'm using a tan 6/0 uni thread. Alright, we'll just start by putting a bit of thread behind the bead. Snip off that tag end. So for the tail on this, the original, it called for some pheasant tail. I'm actually going to use this blue phase from the pheasant tail, or ringneck pheasant skin. This phyllo plume here that you pull off the base of some of these feathers is great for thoraxes on nymphs, so I save those and I'll use them on the pattern another day. So I can typically get 2 flies off one of these feathers. So I just stripped away the fluff off the bottom. And I'm just going to take one side. I'm going to kind of line up the tips of the feathers there. And then just pull them off in one. Just want to kind of try and keep those lined up as best you can. So I'm going to measure the tail just so it hangs off the body about a hook gap length. And we'll tie that down starting just behind the bead. So next we're going to use a gold fine oval tinsel. And I'm just using the Uni French here. And this is the small size. If you've got a little bit of wire, you can use that instead. This just helps to add a bit of contrast to the body. So we'll just attach that by going up just behind the bead here. So next we're going to take a few strands of holographic flashaboo in silver. I think I got about 4 or 5 strands here. Just snip those off. And we'll just tie those in behind the bead. And I like to just keep them kind of on top of the hook shank if we can. And we'll wind our thread back up behind the bead. So we're simply just going to try and flatten the strands out. We're just going to wrap them overlapping up the body. until we get just behind the bead. Then we'll tie those off in front and back, in front and back. Save that for our next fly. And next we're just going to counter wrap in the opposite direction the fine gold oval tinsel. That just adds a little bit more durability to the fly. And again, make sure you tie it off front and back so it's locked in place. And we're going to add a little bit of diamond dub. As you can see here, I've got one of my diamond dub boxes here. I'm going to use this kind of coppery orange DDH 170. Just take a little bit out. And we're just going to dub that onto the thread. I like to dub this on fairly tight, and then as I fish it, it'll naturally get pulled out a little bit and somewhat replicate a natural looking nymph leg. And really that's it for the nymph. We're just going to add a whip finish. It's a pretty simple little bug, but it's super productive. There, enjoy. Thanks for stopping by my fly tying channel and watching my tutorials. If you're new here and like this sort of thing, why not hit that subscribe button? I'd love to hear from you, so if you have anything to say, leave it in the comments below. Until next time, this is Darren saying, keep a hook in your vise. Cheers.